hit it, so it should be. There we go.
There we go. Hey guys, welcome back to the second CT and Jerry podcast here. We're missing Bryson again this week. Hopefully he'll be able to join on the next one. But Jerry, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Ready to talk some football. Should be a great weekend. We're into October. October is one of the best months, so I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, just to give everyone a little background administrative tasks before we jump in, we're going to do this in two parts. Part one, we're going to go over last week's matchups, and then we'll take a quick break, have a word from our sponsor, and then we'll go into part two. And for part two, we'll go over next week's matchups in a little bit more detail. So, did I miss anything? You ready to jump right in?
Our sales team did not do a very good job this week. We don't have an official sponsor, but maybe we can pull some strings and get someone.
Okay. All right. We'll see what we can do. So, all right. I'm going to start sharing my screen here. Got to remember how to do this. Jerry, let me know when you can see yourself.
There.
All right. We'll flip over to the league. Here we've got last week's matchups. Jerry, where do you want to start?
Let's start with the blowout of the week, that Bryson versus Mayse matchup.
All right.
103 isn't a lot, but when your opponent gets 56, that's a blowout.
Poor Mayse.
I know. Notes I had on this one was Wote's going to Wote. Took a huge loss in the Thursday night game with CMC going down, and his team kind of went down with him. Russ didn't cook as much as I thought he would against a weak Minnesota defense. I'm really actually surprised Minnesota won that game. But it didn't matter. Brown got hurt as well, and he got single-digit production from 7 of the 9 players. I know one of them's a defense, and that's kind of hard to get double digits, but still 7 of 9 usually isn't going to cut it. Bryson took advantage with the decent game from probably the MVP front runner, Kyler Murray, and Kareem Hunt with 21 points, stealing stuff away from Chubb. We'll go into that later, but what a way to get 21 from a backup running back. I mean, I know they split a lot of the duties, but still, like, for him to get 21, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you have any comments?
Again, I said it before, I'll say it again, poor Mayse. He's already dealing with a lot of bad injury luck. Both of Brown and Jones got hurt last week, and obviously McCaffrey. So his team is, if all 3 of those guys are out, he's in big trouble. And after a 1-2 start, I wonder if it'll be too much for him to overcome.
Yeah, we'll get into next week's matchup, like the comment you just said. If those receivers are out again, it could look really bad again.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. Which one do you want to do next?
You versus Scales.
Okay. We don't have to spend much time on this one, Jerry. I lost. That's all you need to know.
That's what I wanted to do after the West loss I had in week 1. That was so bad. I should be 3-0. Still cannot believe that. Anyway. In this one I said you always love when you get off to a great start on Thursday nights, and 16 from DJ Moore is a great start. 126 receiving yards. That's always great. Then you had a great afternoon with Captain Kirk to George Jefferson there. I mean, that was a ton of points, double up. Seattle's defense has been a sieve lately, giving up 30 points in the last 2 games, and so his QB and wide receiver 1 definitely took advantage of that. CTE kind of had similar production to Mayse with 7 of the 9 positions in single digits. Mahomes playing in really windy conditions was not ideal, especially when you're trying to throw it to a burner like Tyreek Hill. I mean, we'll talk about it in the upcoming matchup, but man, your running backs going forward, I just don't know what Sanders is going to do each week.
Yeah.
You're probably banking on Sermon getting the lead job and maybe putting someone else on a flex, and that'll save you some.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Tyson Williams ends up pulling an Alex Collins, and they kind of realize, hey, he's our best running back and makes the offense most dynamic. And so I don't know why he only got 5 carries. I don't know why the Eagles only gave Sanders 2 carries. He's still getting some passing game work, so that's been nice. But I think this is the downfall of having high picks being receivers is they just don't get the volume sometimes, and so you end up with these 4-point weeks from your top picks. And anyways, this is certainly not a good week for me.
But I didn't get to watch the game, but didn't Mahomes? I watched the very end, but didn't Mahomes have really windy conditions? Because I remember
it was real windy, kind of blowing one direction. It was it was helping you one direction and in your face the other. Okay. And they just, the Chargers always play the Chiefs well. It's one of those good divisional matchups, but everyone's been running kind of shadow coverage on Tyreek, so to kind of avoid big plays, and they're making Mahomes beat him underneath. And we haven't had a good second receiver step up. Nicole Hardman's not it. So
I was hoping he would be it.
Yeah. So, the Josh Gordon signing will be interesting depending on how quickly he can get up to speed. I don't think he'll play this week, but maybe next week he'll learn enough of the playbook that they can throw him out there. We'll see.
Very nice.
Which one next, sir?
I got Wes versus Shmee.
Let's see here. I'm in week 4. Let me go back to week 3. And close matchup here.
Yeah, my first notes on this was me getting too drunk in Vegas was a huge mistake, and that's just like Shmee not starting Tannehill. I think he really liked the Jones versus Atlanta matchup, and it is intriguing, but had he just stuck with his gut and Tannehill, even though I talked shit on him, I think a couple weeks ago, if you would have just stuck with Tannehill, that would have been the difference. Wes played it really well with a great running back handcuff. Cook was out, but he had his backup, got him in, got 100 yards. That's good management and good even being in Vegas, constantly watching for news and stuff. So that was smart. And I feel like all Russ did was target DK in this game. I was constantly watching it to see if Lockett was getting catches, and all Lockett did was kind of catch like 2 balls and got hurt. So Metcalf was definitely a huge part of the game plan, and that's what helped Wes pull this one out. It's kind of, he's going to hate this. It's kind of a weak 3-0 because he doesn't have a ton of points, but it's still 3-0 nonetheless. Great start. I feel like if we had Bryson here, there'd be some statistic that team that starts 3-0 make the playoffs 87% of the time or something. So he's in a really good position. As of right now, we'll go into his matchup and see if we think he's going to go 4-0. But I thought he did well with his management and his team this week.
The year of West continues, right?
It does.
Yeah, I think this one, I don't know that Najee Harris is going to keep getting 19 targets a game because, that's, he caught 14 of those to get over 100 receiving yards. But I also, this is where I think, Shmee could probably benefit from trading for a quarterback. So the question is, what would he need to give up? But he's got, I think, some wide receiver depth, especially once T. Higgins comes back. Cole Beasley is a solid player there too. So anyways, we'll see what he's able to do. This result doesn't surprise me though. West has got a solid squad, especially with the backup for Cook. He doesn't lose a whole ton whenever Cook goes out. I know Smith-Schuster did get injured, but he wasn't a huge part of the team. He's not a huge contributor anyways. So
I think he can find it. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, once Lamar starts maybe putting together some more, Lamar performances from a couple of years ago, I feel like the ceiling on Wes's team can be raised a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't watch that game, but I heard Marquise dropped, Hollywood Brown dropped a couple touchdowns, so it could have maybe even been a little bigger blowout than what it was. I didn't watch it, but that's what I heard. So maybe Hollywood hauls those in next time and Lamar can have a really good game.
Yep.
All right, next I got Nels first row.
Okay. So Nels won, almost 20-point win.
My notes are Sammy Darnold alert. Sammy Darnold alert. Nels got 10 points over his projection for Sam Darnold. I also cashed in the over on Sam Darnold passing yards while in Vegas on that Thursday night because of this. So that was fun. Which is what Nels needed. I think the Chargers' run defense is horrible because CH had a great game, and then Zeke and Pollard had a great game the week before. So, I mean, I'm not a huge defensive analyst, but I think the Chargers, I guess, have a good secondary, but maybe bad up front because because they've been letting people run right through them. And that kind of stinks because they have Kenneth Murray. I don't even know if he's playing because I think he was hurt. But anyway. I also have TB doing TB things, getting 35 points, but the rest of his team, 6 of 9 players, getting single-digit production. He was still able to put up 97 points, but wasn't enough against the former champ Nels this week.
Yeah, I think some of it for our, this, in my comments previously, RO's team seems pretty solid. I mean, even with 6 guys scoring single digits, he still put up 97 points.
Yeah.
It just comes down to who he's going to play. And but Nelson's got, a solid squad, and it for him, it's all going to depend, I think, on what he's able to get from whoever he streams at quarterback, and then whether or not Clyde lives up to billing as a 2nd or 3rd round pick, whatever round he got him in. So, we'll see. And Evans had one of the weeks where he actually got some targets. That'll be hit and miss. So he had everyone kind of hit this week.
When everyone hits, that's what you do. You put up over 100, and you get over 100, you got a good shot at winning. So,
yep.
Good work, Nels.
All right. So next, we want to look at which game next?
I got CB and Jack.
CB and Jack. Matchup of the week last week.
Yeah. I think everyone in Vegas cashed on the over on this one. What do you call this one?
Jack got the Ricky Bobby of the week, where if you don't score the most points, then you're last, because he scored the 2nd most points and still lost.
That's the absolute worst, but still suck at Jack. So I got baller of the week was Josh Allen balling out with 49 points against a tough Washington defense. I don't think any defense has been worse in their start than Washington. Everyone expected that D-line to be a beast, and man, they're giving up so many points. Josh Allen went off. Mike Williams might be the steal of the draft so far. I feel like Herbert is targeting him a ton, and the guy is tall and has a huge catch radius, so he's catching everything. So getting 30 from him was a steal. And then Zeke got in the end zone twice. That kind of sealed it for Jack. He was hoping Zeke would have a terrible game, but they got down close to the end zone and gave it to Zeke. Pounded it through because that's kind of what Zeke's been doing. He's been kind of the inside zone stuff, and then Pollard's been kind of the stretch stuff. So just an all-around great win. I can't believe both guys got almost 20 points from their defense. We've seen other matchups where people are getting 0 or single digits. Both these guys had double digits, and it's an absolute barn burner. Jack just super unlucky. Got great production from his running back, but still got his ass whooped by CB.
Yep. I think this one goes to show CB's team has a real high ceiling. I mean, he only got 2 points from DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
And 3 points from each of Pitts and Woods, who I would say are, have a lot more potential than that. So his team is looking real good right now.
Yeah, for sure. Robinson is kind of on my radar as worrisome with the the Bears QB situation, and Fields just looking really lost. I guess you could kind of credit the Cleveland defense because they put so much pressure on him, but still, I thought he would be a great receiver no matter who's at quarterback, and maybe that's not the case. Maybe Trubisky and him had a good, I can't think of the word right now, but they were on the same page a lot, and he put up huge numbers the last 2 years, but so far not looking great.
Yep, I agree.
Last one I got is me versus Taylor.
Look at you versus Taylor here. Is this the closest matchup of the week? Yep.
I think it was. I didn't even look at that. It didn't start out that way. He needed a good game from Dak, but yeah, winner, chicken dinner, close matchup that kind of saved me from a TD from Nyheim Hines. Like, I didn't really expect him to do much, but when you kind of throw a dart, as your RB2 and he gets a touchdown, that's definitely going to help. Came down to the wire with Dallas up so much, they sat sat Dak, and that was kind of able to seal the win. Had Eagles versus Cowboys been a lot closer, like Vegas thought it would be, I probably would have lost, but Cowboys were up on him so much. Fourth quarter, Dak was kind of out of it and didn't get any more yards, and thank God. Chase is in contention for Rookie of the Year, so that's looking like a really good draft pick. Bryson and I both benefited from Hunt getting the TD, so that really took away from Chubb, and Bryson was able to capitalize on his win, and that kind of helped my win as well. And JT is not for Justin Thomas anymore. It's the new Madden rated 99 Justin Tucker. What a baller. That kind of saved me too. I mean, you go up, or you see the total there, 99.95. He doesn't hit that 66-yarder. I could be looking at an L. So that 66-yarder was more points than Nels had week 1, by the way.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you hit the crossbar special of the week because, you just barely squeaked by here by a 50-yard field goal or 66-yard field goal. But I also think, you've got 99 again. This is probably a floor for you. You're going to have better days from your receivers. Rodgers, I mean, has he really gotten going yet this year? I feel like 22 is maybe his season high, or maybe he had one that big game against Detroit last week.
I think he had more against Detroit, but
yeah. So I don't know. I like the team, Josh, and I'm not surprised you won. I am glad to see, James Robinson start to get some more run instead of them featuring Carlos Hyde.
yeah.
But I imagine it's frustrating owning the Chubb because Kareem Hunt shouldn't be in the league. But
yeah, you got a point.
There he is. There he is getting 150 all-purpose yards and a touchdown when Chubb could be getting all of that. So, all right. Well, that's it for the last week's matchup, Jerry. We'll take a quick break and then we'll be back with part 2 to look at next week's matchup. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks.